Hello everybody and welcome to another video with Polly Collective. We are making a white base using souffle clay today. It's going to be about 3.5 mil in depth. It's dirty AF if you can see that. And I am using an exclusively cool toned palette today. And I'm also going to share with you the entire process from start to finish. So we're starting off with a ultra thin piece of blue clay. I am burnishing it to my tile and we are going to cut out some hand shaped patterns. Now listen, I decided to go with a seascape Ariel theme and it just kind of started out that I was going to do little waves. And then I thought, oh, look, I can use both sides of it. So we end up with these little sort of lumps and bumps that are meant to kind of look like waves. But, I mean, do they? Anyway, then we're going to do some sort of seaweed sort of looks. And then there's some little starfish out of the yellow. Now, the yellow has got a granite in it, and I really like it. All of these colours are actually just scrap colours as well. So just, just use any blue tones you like. Like, you don't need to get over the top or overthink it. Now, with this, I'm just going to squish on some little blue dots just to add a little bit more contrast to the slab. Now, just FYI, I am sitting on the couch on holiday in Sydney while I do this voiceover. And it is raining in the background and there's a nice breeze just flowing over me while I do this voicemail. So I just also wanted to add a few more bits of yellow in, and I wasn't quite sure what shape I would use. So I went with a squiggle, a good old squiggle, because we all know that when we look at this and we roll it down and we cut it up, it's not going to look anything like this. So I grab my 3mm guides and we start rolling. One of my little tricks for rolling down my slabs is that I like to pick it up between rolls and turn it around so that my pattern doesn't just get stretched one way as if I had put it through a clay machine. Why am I so close? Anyway, I did not zoom out, but it just feels a bit weird this close. Anyway, that's fine. Then I decided in my wisdom that I wanted to add this coral. Oh, we need to have a little snack in between. I wanted to add this coral colour. I was very, very determined. And I thought, oh, those would make cute little shells. And I could make shells on there and just put little, and I went through the entire process putting these tiny little shells onto the slab. And we all know, because you've seen how this collection ends, we know those shells did not make it. So I went through the whole process, and I guess this is a really great little learning point for you. If you put something on your slab that you don't like, take it off. Don't run with it. Don't force yourself to do it. Peel it off and start again. Because I knew when I was looking at it that it wasn't right. So see you later. Let's move on. Do I add anything else to it? No, I don't. I actually just continue the roll down. I do a little bit extra on this one because I know that it's just slightly thicker than I want it to be, but that's fine. And then we're going to bunch out. Oh my gosh, I need to stop now. Then we are going to cut out a bunch of shapes. And I have been really loving particular shapes at the moment. So diamonds, half ovals, and shorter popsicle sticks have been my favorite things. So we're cutting out shapes, and then I'm also going to grab a few of the colors that I put in the slab and use them as accent components. And by accent components, I just mean something to break up the pattern. And you will see this in my work all the time. And I imagine if you are a maker, you do this as well. So what I do is I will always make extra color that I'm putting on my slab, put it aside, and use it as components to break up the pattern, to make it less busy. So as you can see, depending on what colors you choose, they can really change. If you have a look at the two arches there, one with green and one with yellow above the blade, they look very different, like so different. right? So the green brings out the green, the yellow brings out the yellow, so it just gives an entirely different vibe to the earring. Same goes with these ones that I'm doing right now. Some I do with the mint and the blue, and the other I do with green and... Do I do yellow? I can't remember. Oh my God, why is my brain so dead? I'm obviously on holiday mode, so if I start saying weird shit, don't mind me. And also sometimes I get comments on my YouTube videos saying that I talk too much. If you don't like me talking, turn my voice off. Turn me down. Put on a playlist, whatever. Just enjoy the time lapses. So with the other one, the triple ring drop, I go with the green and the yellow, and it looks so cool. But so different. Look how different they look. Right next to each other, you can see how different your color choice can make a style. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. I know what I'm saying. This is one of my favorite parts of the process. So obviously creating the slab is fun, cutting out the components is fun, but actually arranging them, or now what was the word that one of our Patreons used to use? Oh, I can't remember it for the life of me. Oh, it's going to annoy me that I can't remember it. I'll remember it later on, I promise. So we are just, that's it, composing the components, using composing as a word. That's what I'm doing right now. So going through and just deciding what goes with what combinations I like. And, I don't have rules that I stick to with this, aside from the fact that I just make the shit I like. And I feel like you should do that as well. I do a lot of research with my customers, basically meaning I make what they buy. So I notice that I sell triple ring drops, or the triple hoop drops, whatever I call them, the 3 rings. I sell those quite a lot. And then I feel like I sell a statement pair of earrings. I will always sell popsicle sticks. I wanted to make those popsicle sticks, and I've talked about this in lives before, but I just wanted to make them slightly, can you hear the rain? I just wanted to make them slightly smaller so that people weren't overwhelmed, because I like a big statement popsicle stick, but not everybody does. So I have made them slightly shorter, and I actually quite like them. I think that they are just as wearable either way, but I just wanted to test out and see if people liked them. So we'll soon see. Now also diamonds. I'm into diamonds at the moment for some random reason. Maybe they're not in fashion, maybe they are, I don't know, but I'm just enjoying the shape, so, what else did I have to tell you here? Oh, a lot of the time if I'm doing complex shapes like these little ones, I will always soften the edges before I cure them. I knew I wanted to do some little floral studs where I add another component on top for the center. And then I know that I'm also going to be illustrating this collection. So I am thinking about what colors are going to have what patterns on, what are not. And so that's how I'm sort of thinking through the whole process. Now I am laying this out on my working tile, but I will be moving these components over to my curing tile. I'm making this look fancy just for you guys because, that's fun, right? What else did I have to say aside from the fact that I talk too much? Yes, here's some more cute little flower studs. Those ones, yes, very cute, cute. Now, I decided to illustrate this collection just because I felt like it would give a great dynamic and style, and it's very signature of my work at the moment. But you could have quite easily left this as it is. It doesn't need to have it. I just wanted to do it. I feel like I've found my little niche in the world of polymer clay, and I feel like, this will change with time as well. But I really, really enjoy the process of illustrating the way that I illustrate, whether it's outlining, whether it's little patterns, whatever. I do think that, you can experiment with this, but you've just got to find your own style with it, which I can understand can be hard. So this is before curing and before illustrating. And then we're going to go into, I'm going to skip the curing process, but just know that I cured these at 135 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes. Now I'm going to be sanding. So the first thing that I do when I get them out of the oven is I go through and I sand all the edges with my Dremel using the little white buffing tip. And I usually use my Dremel stylo at a level 5, which is the highest speed. I go through and I do all the edges so that they're nice and smooth and they show a clear line of the base and the top patterns. So they should be smooth to the touch. And it should be quite a quick process for you. The second step that I do is, you know what, I'm still sanding. We're still going on the sanding. The second step that I do is going through and using acetone on all the backs to get rid of any marks, any glossiness or anything like that. Also, I go through and do the tops as well. So if there's any lint or dust or color transfer, I will use acetone with a cotton pad. So the cotton pads that you use to in the bathroom, that's what I use. I do that, and then I will go through and do my illustrating, which is going through and either outlining, adding patterns, whatever. Then the next step is varnishing, which I didn't put in here because I had to do it late at night, but I will use really decent coat of Boyle matte varnish. These ones here now have been varnished, I'm pretty sure. Yes, no, yes, have they? Yeah, they have. Yes, those have been varnished. So all I do is I put them onto baking paper, make sure I space them out really well, and I will use the special matte varnish. You can also use a Krylon brand. It's called Krylon, and you can varnish the components with that. But I do have a video on Patreon where I talk a lot about how I varnish and my little tricks. Now, the next step that I'm going to do after I've left the varnish to cure overnight, I will come back to it, check the backs to make sure the varnish hasn't gone underneath, which is what's happened to a few of these components. So it can get a little sticky residue on the back, and all I do is go through really carefully with a little bit of acetone, either on a cotton pad or a cotton tip, and just get rid of any residue that seeps under the baking paper. And then we go into assembling. So I have drilled all the holes. Or have I? Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, I've drilled the holes. And then I just go through and add the components together with jump rings and ball tops and whatever I want to use. One of the things you'll know about me, especially if you're in the Patreon, but if you're on YouTube and you're not on Patreon or wherever this video ends up in the future, I love black findings, and I have loved black findings for probably about 5 years. So I just find for my style, especially with my illustrating, that they look the best. So I use a 10mm matte jump ring, I use 6mm ball tops, and I will use black hoops and black hooks. The hooks that I like are from Blackbird and Violet, and they're an all-in-one hook with a bigger loop so that I don't need to use another jump ring. I assemble and then I glue. I like to assemble all my earrings and then I glue them as well. That's not always what everyone does, but that's my process. And what are we doing here? Why have I got the cutters? Oh my God, why is it so fast? Here we are, we're gluing. I usually just do a little etch on the back using my knife, and then I use Zap jewelry gel with my backings, which are surgical stainless steel, and then I just adjust the size to whatever I need. So whether it's a 6mm back, a 4mm back, a 8mm back, whatever, we make it work. I'm a gluer, and I like it, and I'm happy with it. If I'm using resin or acrylic, I will often embed But with polymer clay, I'm quite happy just using Zap Jewelry Gel. I find it really great. It works for my process. And now we're carding. Carding is another one of the jobs that just has to be done. I like to get all my earrings carded so that they don't sit around, but yeah, easy peasy. If you're wondering what size my cards are, they are an A6 card, which is half of an A5. I feel like they're maybe a little bit too big and I may revisit it in the future, but it's a nice size. It's definitely a statement. And then you can see there with my stud cards, I have opted to go with black cards and they look really great too. But this is the finished product. This is the Ariel collection from start to finish. I hope you have enjoyed the process. I know some of it was really fast, so if you have any questions, feel free to chuck a comment below the video and I will happily answer it for you. But yeah, this was an interesting one for me because I have never done a fully cool toned collection before. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. See you later.